Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans and everybody else. It is Sanders Day, so happy Sanders Day to everybody. We're here to see David Sanders announce his college decision between Tennessee, Nebraska, Ohio State, and UGA. No idea who he's going to pick. I mean, I do have a pretty good idea. I think most of us do, but you really never know until it's all said and done. But obviously, this is a very exciting time for all of us, and we will be taking y'all all the way up to his announcement, which is supposed to be around 1:15, but we're watching it very closely. We're not going to let y'all miss it. If you are a Tennessee fan, then you'll be able to see, a little bit more of us talking some Tennessee football type stuff. But at the same time, we're going to talk plenty about David Sanders. Really, everything is going to be all about David. So as always, y'all, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of the support so much. You can scan the Cash App QR code in the top right-hand corner of this video. If you would like to donate, thanks to everyone that has been donating. You can also help to support us by becoming a member and clicking the join button just below this video. Huge shout out to everyone that is doing that. That's liking, that's clicking on that bell to make sure that you get all the notifications, things like that, sharing it on social media. Y'all can reach out to us on social media. We'll have everything down in the description below here in just a second. But P, how are you feeling about this monumental day for whoever ends up landing David Sanders?
I'm feeling awesome, man. I feel very confident in the Vols and the work that we've put in with David Sanders and his family, the relationship that we've built. Going back to it's been years we've been recruiting this kid, and I think that he knows that. And he's said it numerous times. He feels most comfortable with the staff up there in Knoxville. It's a family vibe. It's been that way from day one. He said from day, he said, I think last year, maybe the year before, that Tennessee was doing a better job than anybody recruiting him. He felt the most love from us. And I think that we're going to finally, hopefully, get to reap the benefits of that today with a big-time announcement and just another nice piece to add on to this very solid 2025 recruiting class.
Absolutely, man. I think that this offensive line inside of this class, it's going to go down as one of the craziest offensive line hauls. I think we did a great job back in 2000 and the 2024 class. We did a really nice job. 23, we got some nice pieces as well. But if we can add David Sanders to this class, we'll take a look at all that here in just a minute. I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. But let me get to this right here. I did start up a poll, so I've been running. I had to do like 2 over the past few days because I've been running it for a while. But the poll is asking, who will David Sanders pick today? And the choices are Tennessee, UGA, Nebraska, and Ohio State. Tennessee right now has 83%, UGA has 8%, and Ohio State has 8%. Nebraska doesn't have anybody, so I guess there's no Nebraska fans that are watching this, or maybe they just don't think that they have a realistic shot at David Sanders. But I think that Nebraska's probably really in second place, just in all honesty. Now, there's a whole lot of, Buckeye fans that would, say no, maybe Tennessee's in second place. But that's where I'm at with it because I do think that Tennessee is in first place. But I do want to pull up David Sanders' profile for everybody just to kind of show y'all who we're dealing with, what sort of a player David is. And, number one, man, he is 6'5" and like 3/4. So he's almost 6'6", 276 pounds. Obviously, 5-star player. He's a 5-star on every single side out there. Number one offensive tackle, number one offensive lineman in this class, in my opinion, P. He is a generational sort of talent. And I would have to compare him to Tyrone Smith from the 2008 class, who went on to USC. We all know he's going to end up being a Hall of Fame left tackle, played for the Dallas Cowboys. Now he's with the New York Jets. He's a stud. There's a lot of similarities in their game, but you can see right here that Tyrone Smith was only 6'5", 260 pounds in high school. Now, he was very highly rated as well, but I mean, whenever you see kind of the way that both of them, it seems like they wanted to make sure that they were lean heading into college, right, P? So that they could add that good weight once they got up on campus and really be able to, move around and just be absolutely dominant. But, yeah, I would say that that's my player comp, P. And now as we kind of get into his profile, like we said, he's about 6'6", 276 pounds. He's a very smart kid. And, whenever I say smart, I mean on and off the field. Typically, the offensive linemen, P, are going to be the most intelligent players on your team just because so much is, thrown at them. You got to be able to figure out what's going on in the blink of an eye and then be able to work hand in hand with the players next to you and all of that good stuff. So I think that he's fine right there. I don't think he's going to have any trouble being able to pick up our scheme, things like that, knowing who to block, understanding, situational football. but also he is an elite athlete. Okay, he is elite. He's a big guy, but he moves so well. He can bend. I mean, he's explosive. I'm talking about in and out of everything that he does. All of his movements, it's beautiful. But then last point right here, P, is that he is nasty. Okay, and you absolutely need to have your offensive lineman be nasty, especially inside of this league when you're going up against, potential, future first round draft picks every single week, right? Like, and they're coming in waves. You're going to see the best of the best. So you've got to play with that mean streak. You got to be a little bit nasty. But P, I'm going to let you take it away just as far as this film breakdown.
Yeah, man, we're excited about him. You see him here playing left tackle. The athleticism pops off the charts. I mean, how easily he's able to just stay in front of a guy, and then the nastiness to finish. He reminds me almost of a skill guy that's playing O-line. I mean, with his athleticism, just how easy he makes it look. I mean, just it's so effortless for him. And he's a guy that you can do a lot. I mean, look at that. Gets down block, crashes the whole line of scrimmage. And you'd love to see him work up and find more work, gets to the second level. The staff can get really creative with how they use him, get him involved in the screen game. He can do a lot of things for you. He's down the field blocking. His athleticism, like we've talked about, is off the charts. And I think he's a lot stronger than people. I mean, that freaking kick slide right there. I mean, that's NFL prototypical how you draw it up. Okay. And right there, he's so quick off the ball. You couldn't see it. He's so quick off the ball that he has to kind of redirect because he's too quick for these guys. Like he's a step above his competition right now. And I mean, he's a guy that's chance to come and play early. I mean, the pass set, the hands, I mean, the way he can bend, this is as close as you can get to a can't miss prospect. I mean, just makes it look easy every time. You never see him have to strain. He's a guy, he has a chance, honestly, coming in here. And, hey, I don't throw this around lightly. He has a chance to be the best lineman we've had here since Trey Smith. And you guys know how I feel about Trey Smith. I mean, he's a guy, you turn on his film, you don't see him miss any freaking blocks. Okay, even in the NFL, you don't see him miss any freaking blocks. And honestly, not missing blocks, but he's doing it in dramatic fashion. He's dominating guys. He's getting nasty with guys. And he gets up, jogs up the hole, does it again next play. I think David Sanders has the potential to be that. Is he a day one guy? We'll see. Okay, hey, he has very, very good size right now. How much weight is he pulling from now till he steps on campus? If he does, commit to our balls, I don't know. But he's a guy that has every opportunity to play, and he can play any of the 5 positions from guard to tackle to center, you name it, to freaking tight end. He can do it all. He's a can't miss guy, man. He's a 5-star plus in every sense of the word.
For sure. I think that was perfectly said. And just kind of, adding on to what you had said and, what we had kind of talked about just a few moments ago about his weight right now. Now, I've seen him listed more than 276. I don't know how verified any of that type of stuff is. But the whole point is whenever you have a bigger guy that is trying to maintain their weight, do you have any idea how easy it's going to be for him to be able to pack on those pounds? We've talked about it before that if he is going to be a starter or, if he's going to play as a freshman, in the SEC, he's going to have to be 300 plus pounds, no question, especially a tackle. I think most of our guys are, I think both of our tackles are close to like 330.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and they can move, they've got very quick feet. But I think that he does fit in. And, once he gets up on campus, I think that it's not going to be a problem for him to add 30 pounds really quickly. And he's probably, hopefully, now that, or, once he does come out and officially say where he's going, hopefully he will kind of start to, okay, now I can blow up some, right? Because I'm sure that we'll send him down a little workout regimen. Hey, this is what we want you doing. Just do these things and just add the weight as gradually as possible. You don't have to go crazy with it. Maybe he comes up at about 290 and then all of a sudden, I think that you feel great about his opportunities to be able to start. And we'll talk about how that depth chart looks here in just a minute. But I want to get to some of these chats. Thank everybody for joining us. We're going to get right here. We've got Big Vol Cole was first. Appreciate you for being first, brother. Right here, we got Jeremy Hutchings saying, go Big Orange. You already know. Jerry Gibson, go Big Orange. Another one. Yes, sir. TN Jr. What's up, dog? He's a member of this channel and a friend of this channel. Says right here, let's go. We're all ready to rock and roll. Richard Van Stinson says, go Big Orange from Denver, baby. Vol Nation. Or he says, go Vol Nation. I love that, man. Hey, I would love to get out to Denver, too. So whenever P and I are going to be coming up there, we're going to give you a call, man. Hopefully you got somewhere for us to stay at. And then now we got Jacob Wise saying 1:15 Eastern time or Central time. That is going to be Eastern time, and it'll be, I guess, 12:15 Central time, something like that. Yeah, so it's going to be 1:15 Eastern time. And then X says, go Big Orange. Let's see right here. What else we got? We got Mike Harmon saying, Big Dave coming home. Go Big Orange. You know it. Timmy G, what's up? Timmy G saying, feeling good about this announcement. You should be. I think that we should all be feeling very, very confident with this one because we've told y'all for, months now, because we've been covering this one pretty closely for months. We talk about David Sanders like every single week, but we've known from VolQuest, Austin Price, Matt Ray, Brent Hubbs, Eric Kane, Rob Lewis, all those guys. They've done a really good job of staying on top of this, and they've been the first ones to say Tennessee's in a tremendous spot. Through everyone that's kind of been involved with David Sanders, whether it was Clemson early on, they say, hey, Tennessee is in a tremendous spot. Clemson ends up falling off of the board. Then who was the next team that kind of came in there, P? I think it was UGA, right?
Mm-hmm.
UGA comes in, where Tennessee still in a tremendous spot. Then it's Ohio State. Then it's Nebraska. Tennessee has been the one consistent throughout this entire process. He's visited us like 9 or 10 times. He actually came up and did like a day in the life of a Tennessee athlete, got to sit in on a class, actually did the drive from Charlotte up to Knoxville, then back home just to see how it feels. I don't know that he's done that, P, with any other program. And I think that at the end of the day, people will talk about NIL and all these other different things. I think that was a big factor towards the end. But people have, there's several layers to this, right? I think that may have been one of the deciding factors. But even still, everything else that kind of comes along with it, just as far as being comfortable, having that family vibe and feel, playing in a program that will develop you like Tennessee has done, and all of that. Understanding that, hey, there's great quarterbacks back to back to back. And then, man, look, this team can compete for national titles. So, it's not just about the NIL. There's several reasons and several layers that I do think that he is going to end up picking Tennessee today, but he could pick someone else because he does have, a good list of some other programs that, you could see him kind of fitting in there. You could see why maybe he might pick them. Right here, we've got Steve Woodard says, love the show, guys. Great content. Go Big Orange. Come on home, Big Dave. Thank you so much for that, man. We appreciate all of the support. P, I want to go ahead. We're going to get back to the chats here in just a second, but I want to take a look real quick, right? Let's take a look. This is our big board. Okay, if you're a Tennessee fan, y'all have seen this before, especially if you watch this channel. But this is our big board. Of course, David Sanders is at the top up under expected commits. And all the numbers and stuff that you're seeing is based off of On3's player ratings. But we also have Onis Conan-Bannon, who we're expecting to be announcing next weekend. That's probably going to be like the bulk of our class in 2025. But there's a couple of possible commits. I think that Jaden Harmon is very, very realistic. Seems, the closer that we, kind of are getting to the season, the more confident I'm starting to feel about him potentially flipping from Alabama. Y'all know about Andrew Maddox. He's currently committed to Ole Miss. He's a four-star defensive lineman. I think he'll end up playing tackle in college. We'll see what happens with that one. Don't feel as confident as I do with Jaden. Then we also have D. Morris. He is a 3-star athlete, but we want him to play running back. And I believe, P, that he plays in Murfreesboro currently. But, we'll see. He's currently committed to USC. Can we get him up on campus? We'll see. But whole point is this. David Sanders being added to this class will be huge. I know some of y'all are wondering, what is it going to do to our overall class rating? I think that we'll move up to about number 6 with David. And then also, once Onis does commit, if he does choose Tennessee, would probably just be a little bit more solid at number 6. It'll be tough for us to jump Oregon at number 5 if they still are number 5. But it's going to be tough, I think, for us to crack into that top 5 without adding some people that we don't think are, expected to commit. But what do you think about, just this class or, like what's left on this board right here, Pete?
Man, I'll tell you that Jaden Harmon, he's a guy we talked about a while ago on this show as a guy. We turned his film on. We absolutely love his film. It seemed like as soon as we really started getting excited about him, the next week he came out committed to Bama, and we kind of didn't really talk about him as much. But he's a guy, man. We could add him. That's a huge, huge piece, and it'll just be another nice piece to add. Another athletic backer, flies around, can hit, plays down here in Georgia, so plays against good competition. He's a guy, man. Similar to kind of Desan Brame, how he went to Oregon. Something didn't quite feel right about that, right? I think kind of same deal with the Bama. Something doesn't quite feel right. I think he knows Tennessee's his home, and I think by the end of the year he will come back around. And I think that's true for a lot of these guys. I think, this staff's been selling the vision, and they've been somewhat delivering on it. They showed them 2022. Okay, that was a flash in the pan, kind of, what this kind of a glimpse of what we can do. But I think once we go out here this year and we do what we think we're going to do, which is go playoffs, and we think we're going to win the whole thing. I think I've been saying this all along. I think once the season gets going, we're going to get some guys that we didn't even really know we were in on are going to start coming around saying, hey, what about me? What about me? And we're going to get some guys. I think this class is going to be top 5. I would almost guarantee it, especially if we get David Sanders today. Just because I think the season will go so well. And we're going to get some guys that maybe we were kind of outside shots on. Another guy, Jamie French, I think's a guy. You know, he's going wherever he's going, probably Texas, right? But I think once he sees us in the season, he's gonna be like, well, heck, maybe these guys were right. You know what I mean? Once he sees that, Chris Brazel, Dante Thornton, Brew McCoy are, three of the top
Nimrod
six,
too.
Nimrod are three of the top 6 receivers projected to go in the draft, 2025 draft. I think he'll come around. So, it's going to be a big year for us, man. But I like what we have here. We have a really good solid class right now. I don't know how many scholarship guys, we'll take in this class, whatever. So I don't know how many we have right now. I think we have like 22 or so, something like that. So I know we're getting close to our number, but I mean, heck, we got room for about 3 or 4 more studs, I'd say. I think we'll find 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like in that movie when it's like, we can find a spot for you, boy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think that we can do that, and especially because of NIL. Maybe you bring a guy on that they're not on scholarship per se, but I mean it's still getting paid for because hey, look, we'll put room, board, tuition, all that into the NIL deal, just kind of sweeten it up for you, and just make sure that you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? So I think that we can add more. It just really all depends on how many more do we really want to add, because like you said, P, I think that you said something that most people would probably kind of skip over some, but I think that it's big. You was kind of talking about guys are going to be starting to come in like beating on the door, hey, can I come here too? Just because we've got so many great things set up, just from top to bottom. I mean, everywhere there's a million different things. Tennessee is pretty much ahead of the curve in everything, right? Like with that whole pilot deal, I mean, for us to be able to have a big corporate sponsor like that without having to change the name of Nealand and all that, people are wondering, how did y'all do that? They don't understand. Hey, look, that's been in the works. You know what I'm saying? Like we've had things kind of built up. There's a whole lot that people just don't know about Tennessee, but it's such a great program. I think we've got a phenomenal coaching staff that really sincerely cares about these players on and off the field. And I mean, you can just feel that vibe. And man, come out here this season, prove it on the field. It's going to be hard to keep us out of the top 3, P. Just in all honesty, right? Yeah. I think it's going to be very difficult to keep us out of the top 3 every single season. Just because, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. Tennessee's going to have it, right? No one's going to outbid us for a player that we want, right? People don't understand how deep these Tennessee pockets actually go, but they can go very, very deep. Now let's move on right here. We're going to get to that here in just a moment. Not that, but let's talk about David Sanders' competition, right? Because a lot of folks are asking, can he come in? Can he start? Will he play as a true freshman? Well, this is how I think the tackle room is going to look in 2025. So left tackle, and this is in order as far as who I think will be the starters, obviously first, second, third string. But Lance Hurd at left tackle, I think that's solid. I don't think he's going anywhere. I would say maybe best case for David that Lance moves over to the right side and then maybe put David at left. But I mean, I would be hard pressed to think that you do that with the true freshman in the SEC. But what do you think about that right there, Pete? Just with David versus Lance at that left tackle spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to see him unseating a guy like Lance Hurd. I think Lance would plug in, be your left tackle, and that's pretty much the reason he came to Tennessee, because we told him, hey, you can play left tackle, and we made John Campbell move to right. I would say if David Sanders does start, I would for sure say better chance at right tackle than left.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think so too. And then right behind Lance Hurd at left tackle, I've got Jesse Perry. Very impressed with what he's done as a true freshman. Now, he's a guy that I think could also maybe fight for that right tackle spot, just really all depending on how everything plays out. But he looks really good so far. Yeah. Then we also have Trevor Duncan, who I think is a little bit more of a project, but he looks good so far, right? How much is he going to come along throughout this entire year? And then what does he do in the offseason? I think that'll kind of tell the tale. But on the right side, I've got Larry Johnson as the starter right now. P, what do you think about that? Is this somebody else that you think might be starting? And I mean, we're not talking about David Sanders at this point, but is there anyone else that we know will be on the roster that you think can maybe take that spot?
Yeah, well, obviously, first guy right there, Bennett Warren. I mean, Bennett Warren, he's impressed with what I've seen from him in practice. He came in much better shape. His body looks much better than I thought it would, and he can bend better than I thought he was able to bend. So he's a guy, watch out for him to develop. But another guy you can't sleep on is Sham Umarov. I know he's working left guard. Yep. He's a guy that could potentially move out to that right tackle spot as well. So, it's going to be tough sledding. I mean, another guy got coming in, Douglas Utu. Is he a guard? Is he a tackle? Hey. People, hey, don't sleep on him. He ain't gonna just concede to whoever. I mean, he's a guy. So it's gonna be a heavy competition, but I would almost lean kind of the the over, or however you want to say it, on a guy not named Larry Johnson starting at right tackle.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Interesting.
So let me say this real quick. If y'all are just now joining us, we are going to be taking you all the way up to the 1:15 hour. When David Sanders is expected to be announcing, but we are watching it just to see. But as soon as that comes up, we will go ahead and pull that up live for you. If you are a Tennessee fan, then we're just pretty much talking Tennessee football at this point. Currently we're talking about how does David Sanders fit into our offensive line at either tackle spot as a true freshman. So that's where we're at right now. But P, back to Larry Johnson. Do you have confidence in him? Because, I mean, you're saying, well, you think maybe somebody else will be starting there. But how much confidence do you have in him, as a tackle on either side?
He's a guy, he's come a long way, man. From you look at his, what was it, JUCO, whatever his film was before he came to Tennessee, you kind of saw a big old body, couldn't bend, a little bit unathletic. You look at him now, he's leaned up. He looks, much more agile. But just kind of really basing off what I saw in the spring game from him live, I think he looks solid, but it just, to me, just seemed like a guy that's going to get beat with speed. You put an elite speed pass rusher against him, I think he's going to have a hard time with those type of guys. So, I got to see him go out there and do it live before I really, want to crown him as a guy that can really fill in and do it. But he's come a long way. He's gotten better, and will continue to get better. But I just think, right now, I'm still not quite sold on him as an option there to be starting at right tackle.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. So I think, P, that we're probably both on the same page that if David Sanders is going to play as a true freshman, it would be on that right side. I think that is where his best option is going to be at. But at the same time, whenever I'm looking at all these bodies, it's a lot deeper than we've ever been, right? And obviously, all these players will get a lot better throughout this season, and then the whole off season for 2025. So how much better can they get? And how ready does David Sanders come into play? I think that he's going to be a player that's, just watching his technique and his fundamentals, it's probably not going to take him long. As long as he can figure things out, I would say maybe more mentally, and I don't think that's going to be any issue. He could definitely come in and compete for a starting spot, but I don't think that it's necessarily a slam dunk that he would start at that position.
I think the big question we have to consider is, do you feel better about true freshman playing tackle or playing guard? Do you think he would play guard, or do you think maybe a guy like Larry Johnson, you bump him inside the guard, and we'll say, hey, because I don't know who our two guards will be next year. We're losing Lampley, we're losing Spraggs, we're losing Dane Davis, we're losing a lot of guys. So who's our two guards? Maybe one of these tackles. We have a pretty deep room here. Does Jesse Perry, do you see him as one of your top 5 linemen? Does he bump out? So you just never know how we're going to move it around. But I could definitely see maybe a Larry Johnson playing guard, so I think he might be better at.
And that's an excellent point.
You know what I'm saying? And then you put a David Johnson, the true freshman David Sanders at right tackle. And you kind of roll for that way. So we'll see. There's a lot of moving pieces. This staff's going to have a lot of work to figure this thing out.
Yeah, and actually, we're going to talk a little bit more about the whole offensive line here in just a minute, but we got to get to let me see if I can pull this thing up. Well, we have a new member. I don't know how to pull this thing up. Here it is. I got it. Here we go. No, it's not that one. My bad. Here it is. All right, so Joseph Harris is a new member of this channel. Thank you so much for your support, Joseph. And if y'all would like to become members, you can do so by clicking the join button below. You will get exclusive content that we can't share on this side of YouTube, whole lot of film breakdowns and all that. It will help you to understand football a lot, but more specifically, what we do from a scheme perspective, who's playing well, and also how do our opponents look that we're going to be facing on Saturdays? You know what I mean? I think this is going to be something that for sure, once we kind of get into playoff mode, y'all will definitely want to see what the heck is going on. But let's kind of get back into it. All right, we are going to get to the chats here in just a second, but I want to talk a little bit more about the offensive line. So this is what the room would look like in 2025. And, I think that there's a lot of good bodies in here. Now, one of the big question marks is going to be with the juniors, Bison Lane. Can he step up at center for you? If he can, then come back over here to the freshman. Does a guy like Nick Moore step up? Can he kind of surpass William Satterwhite, who's a sophomore? Max Anderson's also been working at center, and so is Jesse Perry. Who else is going to get a look there, right? I mean, that's pretty interesting. I don't know exactly what's going on, man, with Bison Lane, just because whenever I watch him play, I think that he plays solid. I don't think that he's horrible, but we don't get to see everything. I saw him in the orange and white game. I watched him very, very closely. Sometimes he kind of got moved back, but I mean, that's going to happen. Like that happens to Cooper Mays too. That's just part of it. but I think that he anchors down well, and he's going up against some studs. So I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to call it, right? Because we have to go off of what the insiders are telling us, and I'm sure that they have really good information, but I'm not as low on Vice and Lang as I feel like some other people are, just from what I've seen. But just talking about that center position real quick, P, what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, man. Bison's looks pretty solid to me, so it's got to be something that maybe we're not seeing. Obviously, like, maybe he's not good at, because I know the center has a lot of responsibility in the shifting the pass pro and what's it called, identifying the mic and stuff like that. So maybe he is slipping on that end. I don't know. I don't want to just put stuff out there, but I don't know, because he looks solid to me, and I mean, he seems like he is still the 2 center. Like, whenever we see clips, I mean, he's the second guy we see snapping the ball. Like, you see him with the second line, you know what I mean? So I think he is still the 2 there. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's a little bit of misdirection from some of those insiders saying it's not him. I don't know why they do that, but I think he is still the 2 there. I like William Satterwhite a lot. He's a guy that this is a natural kind of replacement for Cooper Mays. Same as that guy, pretty much. Just probably a higher athletic ceiling for Satterwhite. And then Nick Moore's another guy. I mean, he's the guy that's going to come in here probably ready to go. So it's going to be a fierce competition at center, I think. And then, of course, Jesse Perry, Max Aronson, those are guys that can bump in there as well. So I mean, we have some options. We're very deep, I would say, in this room. A lot of unproven depth. Got to see what we can do, but I think center is going to be a competition. We'll see who it is. If I had to bet money right now on who would be starting 2025 or 2026, next year, whatever. I might lean William Satterwhite just because I don't know. I like him a lot.
I can see it. Yeah, I like him a whole bunch, man. He's real feisty. He's scrappy, and that's typically what you want out of your centers, right? Like they're usually dogs. Like Coop. You know what I'm saying? He's the exact. I mean, he is a dog, right? Yeah. Like he's one of those people that he could go anywhere, like any neighborhood in the entire world, and he's going to demand respect. Just because, I mean, he is a man's man. I think William Satterwhite is that same way. So, yeah. And, I mean, I haven't heard a whole lot from Vice and Lang, but I see a little bit of scrappy. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see him scrapping some, too. But I was just curious. I definitely want to talk about that. Now, let's go back to the freshmen just because I want to kind of highlight them some. Obviously, y'all can see down at the bottom. I've got David Sanders with a question mark because we don't know if he's going to be committing to our volunteers yet or not. But he could and probably will end up being a true freshman in 2025 for us. But I think that, man, Douglas Utu, I mean, listen, okay? Listen, he is a
4-year starter.
Yes.
Bishop Gorman, 4-year starter. Come on, that's not easy. On the O-line?
No.
He's a stud, man.
He's a stud. He's another one that I think, I mean, don't sleep on him anywhere on this offensive line. It could be center. It could be either the guards or either of the tackles. I don't care. He's another one. I mean, he's really scrappy. I mean, just everything that you want in an offensive lineman. So he's one that I think, he definitely has I think he's got a very solid shot to play, maybe even start as a true freshman somewhere. I don't see how he stays off the field. Could probably say the same thing about David Sanders. Also, we've got Antoni Agumuro, who I think also is more of an interior offensive lineman, still very new to playing football, but you love his upside. You love, I mean, he's another one. He's a dog. So, where does he fit into this whole deal? I think that he's going to push. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing is that we've been getting in players that have been pushing these upperclassmen and making us better and better and better. But he's for sure one. I mean, I would say don't sleep on him because with him having such a limited amount of time kind of playing football, his ceiling is going to probably be higher than most of these other players. So he's one that I'm, very excited about. We also talked about Nick Moore being one that, especially at center, I think he's primarily going to be playing at center, but we'll cross-train him because we always do that. He can play either of the guard spots as well, but, he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? He's got something that he needs to prove, And I mean, we're getting in so many of the right players, P. I can't say enough about what Coach Hypo and his entire staff is doing, identifying the correct people, not just on the field, P, but also off the field, right? I mean, these are some really good kids. Whenever you listen to them talk, you can tell that they really get it, on a really high level. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed about that.
I'll say this: you look at this room here. It's going to be a fierce competition on that offensive line. I mean, you kind of know who your guys are next year. It's going to be Lance Hurd, left tackle. Okay. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know. I think all those other spots are up for grabs. So you just look at the names here. I mean, we got some good looking guys here. A lot of these guys are underclassmen too. You look at William Satterwhite, Jesse Perry, Bennett Warren. Obviously Bison Lang, Aiden Bustle, does he finally emerge? Trevor Duncan is another guy. We kind of touched on him briefly, but when you see him out there practice, dude, he looks phenomenal. He looks phenomenal. So, is he a guy that is all of a sudden like, so this staff's done a great job of identifying talent, bringing these guys in, developing them, moving them to the right position. Jeremiah's heard. Last I heard about him before he actually got on campus was that he was going to be a D lineman. Maybe those guys are watching our videos because we said, hey, this guy's a prototypical Pro Bowl left tackle. And now he gets on campus, he's an offensive lineman day one. So he's a guy. Does he develop? And like you said, the freshman you just talked about, man, all four of those guys. I just love every single one of them. All dogs, all play hard, all have tremendous upside, all are versatile, can play multiple positions. And you can say about pretty much everybody on this, I'd say maybe outside of maybe Bennett Warren, that's probably it. The rest of these guys are, maybe Aiden Bustle, but outside of that, these guys can play pretty much any position on O-line. So, just awesome job of this staff. And this is going to be a good group going forward.
You know what? Let me go a little bit deeper into that too, P, because especially whenever you talk about these freshmen, one of the things that I want for everyone to, notice, okay, of course, we've done film breakdowns on all those freshmen. Go back and watch their footwork. That's something that, we've talked a lot about our tackles for the past couple of seasons, saying that, well, we don't feel great about them getting beat with speed, right? Just because it seems like all of them, and I don't know if it's more of our scheme, like the way that we're getting into our pass sets or what, but it does seem like speed on the edge has been a problem, especially with those tackles. And it seems like with our interior offensive linemen, like that bull rush, that strength has been more of an issue. But I would say number one, especially when, looking at these tackle bodies, the footwork is there, P. Like, I think that the staff has identified that, say, okay, look, we need guys that can do both. Like, you can't, like, you have to be able to hold up with the strength, right? And stop those bull rushes, but you also got to be able to stop those speed rushers. And I think that we're going out and identifying players that can do that, even guys on the interior, right? And those guys that are going to be playing on the inside are so strong and so powerful. So it just goes to whenever you look at the quarterback talent that's coming in, right? Listen, we got Jake Merklinger, who a lot of folks want to sleep on, but he's a stud. And listen, he's a baller. He's a real baller. I trust him a lot. We got him, and I'm talking about post Nico, right? Because we already know Nico's going to do his thing. Post Nico, we got Merk, okay? We got G-Mac, who another one, stud, baller. I think that Nico and G-Mac are very similar in they're a little bit more of gunslingers. They'll probably make more plays for you, but they might also give up a few more turnovers. But I think that you can live with that, right? Like, you take that trade-off if you're winning ball games. I think that they're winners, so not worried about that. And I would say that Merk is more similar to a phase on Brandon, where they'll probably be a little bit more conservative and throw the ball, maybe not in the tighter windows, although they could do it, but they'll take better care of the football while still also making plays. Obviously, inside of our system, it's just like kind of written into the whole code that like the football is going to be taken care of. So whenever you talk about all those great quarterbacks that are coming in, you talk about how this offensive line is trending. You take a look at, on the outside, those wide receiver threats. The tight end room is ridiculous. It's filthy coming up. So, look, running back room, I have a whole lot of confidence in that one as well. My whole point is this, y'all. The team, the offense moving forward is going to be ridiculous, okay? It's only going to get better. Every record, I feel like that was set in 22. At some point, I would say very, very soon, those records are about to start getting broken because we have a lot more talent than we had in 2022. I also think that the coaching staff is picking it up. They're figuring things out on a different level. So I have a whole lot of confidence, man, just in kind of looking at the way that offensive line is built and all that good stuff. Let me get to a few more of these chats here real quick. Let's see. I think I might have gone. I don't know where I lost where I was at. So we're just gonna go right here. Okay. We've got a member right here. Scott V. Appreciate you. Scott V says Sanders will be a 5-star defensive end prospect if he chose to focus on that. I don't remember us ever signing in offensive tackle this elite. I think that's a great point, just because he could, P. Like, whenever you're watching him out there, just like how he moves and all that. And we're about, okay, so it's 12:50 right now. Yeah, so we're close to about 30 minutes away, y'all. Just wanted to give y'all that update. We are still watching. He is set to announce at 1:15. But yeah, he's got a great skill set. And would you say that maybe he's the most elite offensive line prospect? Or I don't know if he said offensive line or offensive tackle. He's offensive tackle, yeah. Do you think he's the most elite prospect that we've signed? or
Well,
that we might sign?
So I mean, I don't know. So he's talking about like in our history, right? Because I mean, Trey
Yeah,
Smith, I think was a tackle. I think
he
Trey
was a
Smith.
tackle.
I mean, he was very elite. Like his high school stuff. Like he was the truth too. And then Darnell Wright was also a very highly coveted guy. He's 5-star. So you know he's definitely up there. Like he's going to be one of those type of guys, right? Like we saw Darnell Wright. Heck, we loved him. I mean, he was one of the best linemen we've had come through here. Trey Smith, same deal. I think he's going to be in that same ballpark in terms of a guy. Hey, we know what we don't have to worry about wherever David Sanders is at. That side's going to be good. His guy's going to be locked down. I think he'll be one of those typical type of guys. Now, like I said, my question is, hey, does he surpass Trey Smith? Does he surpass Darnell Wright? He's going to be right there in that same neighborhood. Can he go even above those guys? I think potentially his upside, yeah. I think athletically, look at his athleticism. I think he's even better than Darnell Wright and even better than Trey Smith. The question is going to be how much weight does he put on? How strong is he? He looks like he's strong, like a guy that just has that inner strength to him. So I think upside potentially, like he's like a Tyrone Smith, like you talked about. So I mean, he could be. So like those other guys, I don't think Darnell Wright was the first offensive lineman drafted. I don't think he was. I think David Sanders could be the first O lineman taken whenever he's drafted. For sure.
I think that he's good enough that he could be a number 1 overall pick. And look. This is the thing is that typically, right? I mean, those teams that are picking first are looking for some quarterbacks, but it would have to be a perfect situation where, I mean, God forbid, I'd never want to put injuries on anyone, but maybe it was a team that would have been better or, pretty good, like a playoff cusp team if they, if their quarterback maybe hadn't gone down or something in the season and they don't need a quarterback, they just need some better protection for him. At that point, I do think that David Sanders will be one that in 3 years is going to be, I mean, he could be that number 1 overall pick just because, I mean, he's such a good athlete. I think that that's what would separate him. So I can see what Scott's saying there. It's really hard to find that sort of athleticism for an offensive lineman because, I mean, he literally, P, I think that you said it perfectly earlier in this video. I mean, he's got the athleticism of someone that plays like a skill position, right? So, and I'm saying like correlation is with his body size. So like, let's just say if you take a really athletic cornerback and if you made them 6'6", 280 pounds, I think that they would look a lot like David Sanders.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's very, very elite from that perspective. Let's get to a few more of these. We got Big Vol Cole talking about Trey Smith. Also talking about Darnell Wright. Yeah, those are some really good ones, especially recently. But there's a lot. I mean, our history of offensive linemen, because that was Coach Former's whole deal. We always had really good offensive lines with Coach Former. But Jeremiah Rosette or Rose, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, says getting Utu and Sanders in the same class would be big time. 2 top 50 recruits on the O-line would be fire. Yeah, so I think that Utu's one that's probably going to take a bump up in those ratings. For him to only be a 4-star, in my opinion, is kind of laughable. It's like, I mean, like, what could you possibly be looking at to say that he's not a 5-star? That's mind-blowing.
A 4-year starter at one of the top programs in the country. I mean,
that plays a national schedule?
That's what I'm saying. Come on, dude. He looks like that. Come on. So, I mean, that's like you said, man, we got 2 guys that I think, as rare as it is to start as a true freshman on the O-line in the SEC, especially for a big-time program like Tennessee, we got 2 guys coming in that I think have a chance to push hard to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no doubt on that. We're going to get to some more chats right here. We got John Gorby says, the Vols are pretty sure that Sanders will be playing for them. The Ohio State University is just sitting there waiting to break your hearts. That one is funny, yo. All right, so hey, Jackie, when we love to see that, Jackie?
I love to see that.
Hey, listen. So I mean, look, I don't mean to laugh that hard, but the only reason that I am doing that is just because from watching this stuff for so long, I've seen a lot of the Buckeye fans. Man, it's not all of them, right? I don't want to paint a bad picture, but they are some of the most conceited fans. I mean, they are very, very, very confident. I think that this ship has honestly sailed. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna kind of go through all these motions here, but I mean, I can almost tell you right now, 99.9% slam dunk. David Sanders is coming to the University of Tennessee. You know what I mean? That one is pretty much done. But again, he has to go through it. He has to do it. But yeah, I just found it funny is because P, like us growing up in the South, living in the South, we don't get to interact with a lot of these like Northern fans and stuff. But I had no idea that Buckeye fans, and again, it's not all of them, but that some of them were kind of like that. But I would say that they're like the UGA of the North. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like how they are. So I would probably only cheer for Ohio State if they're playing Georgia.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Hey, when y'all played them a couple years ago, man, whatever year that was, when y'all should have had them 42-41 in the playoffs.
Yeah, man, that one hurt.
Down. Yeah, I was y'all's biggest fan that freaking day. And hey, I was as heartbroken as y'all when y'all dropped.
Oh yeah, that one was tough. That one was tough. But we are going to move on. You know, we'll see here about what we got about 15 or so, maybe 18, 19 minutes or something like that. But we are getting close. We are getting close. Let's get some more of these chats. We got Get Your Popcorn Ready, says Go Big Orange. I love that name. Stevie Davis says, I'm in Knoxville. We tailgate real big here. ATL's my second home. I love meeting y'all. Thank you for saying that, Stevie. We would love to meet you too. So we are, working on maybe doing some tailgates or something like that. I don't know if we can do it this season, but we are working towards that. Now, my nephew, P's son, he's playing football, and P is a coach on his team. So they play Saturdays. So that kind of hurts us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to make it difficult for us to do it. But maybe on one of his bye weeks, P, and his season's a little bit shorter. So maybe after that, maybe we can work on that. But yeah, I mean, we would love to do that. That's something that we've talked about for a while. We would love to be able to sit down and chop it up with everybody. You know what, P? I want to go ahead and shift gears here for just a second. I want to talk about something that you and I have talked about for a while. We actually kind of pulled this up earlier, but this right here is how Nealand Stadium could look. Now, I think that Danny White posted this, P. I think he posted it maybe on Instagram or something like that. But this is a third level inside of Nealand. And so, the rumor kind of is that we could have 120,000 inside of Nealand Stadium. I've said, P, for a while, like I know that we're doing, renovations and all that to make Nealand more, fan friendly, things like that. And so we ended up losing like 10,000 or so seats because it would always be us in Michigan. Like every single season, it seemed like we're fighting for the biggest stadium in all of college football. Now we've, kind of come down. There's several stadiums that are actually bigger than Nealand as far as how many people the stadiums can hold. But I think, just for me personally, P, I would love to see us do this because I think that we would sell it out. We already have the decibel record, right, of 137 or 47. I think it's 137 decibels. I mean, imagine adding, what it would be like 20,000 more people. To Nealand, we would set some crazy records inside of Nealand.
Man, that you talk about a home field advantage. I mean, that's heck. I was talking to our dad yesterday about it. I said, hey, we need to go ahead and break ground on this project right now. Go ahead and do it. I mean, and Danny White, he knows. I love Danny White, man. He's very in tune with the university, with the fan base, and he's on Twitter like. He was talking about selling out season tickets or whatever. He's like, we sold out already again or whatever he said. And somebody just commented on that post and was like, hey, add a third level or something. And he was like, and Danny White, he responded to that guy. He said, you know what? I think I could because you guys would sell it out. And he was like, heck yeah, we would. And so that was kind of my first time seeing it. And this was months ago. My first time kind of seeing that kind of ball get rolling. And now we're here to where it seems like this is a real possibility. I mean, if Danny White can get this done for us, man, he's already the GOAT, probably AD.
I was gonna say the same thing, P.
But for sure, if he gets this done, he is the absolute GOAT. Has that suit on, you know what I mean?
Shades on. I mean, smooth, man, smooth. Hey, I love Danny White. He's awesome. Yeah. I think that we're doing such a good job, and I mean that probably really does start with Danny, right? I mean, he's done a really good job going out and hiring the correct people who play a brand of whatever sport it is that you want to watch, that you want to engage with. It's exciting. And just understanding what he has in all of All Nation, which we feel like is the best fan base on the face of this planet. I don't care if it's college, high school, pro, whatever. I mean, we are passionate about our volunteers, and just the way that he's gotten us back riled up, because we've been that sleeping giant. I think that the Cornhuskers are kind of like that same way. But just the way that he's gotten us back rolling, dude. But yeah, this right here, I don't know what y'all think. Please let us know inside of the chat. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I think that this picture says it all. Like, this is good. So my only question here, P, is from this angle, it looks like there's only a third level in one end zone. I want it to be. I want this side of the end zone that we're seeing. I want that to have a third level too, right? Like that's why I want it to. I want it to stay like that bowl shape that it is now. And it's really not. It's not even a bowl shape. But I want for it to stay in that shape, all the way around, But of course, we have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. Now, so I'm guessing that each little section. I guess that section we see here. I guess that's like 20,000. I'm guessing. So I mean, heck, you're talking about adding another 20,000. You're talking about getting up to like 140,000 fans. I mean, that's going to be insane. My only question is going to be, and probably fans may not care a ton about this. They just want to get in there and be loud, be rowdy. But what's the viewing experience going to be like from that high? Will it be something that people don't really like being up there or whatever? I don't know. But at the end of the day, man, we're filling that thing up. You're in Nealand. You're watching the game live. Hey, let's get there, be loud, and cheer your team on. But this could be a real game changer, and I think recruits are gonna love it too.
I don't even think though, P, because if you look at NFL stadiums, right? Because NFL stadiums are actually bigger than the college stadiums, but they have different, like their seats are different, so they don't seat as many people. But I mean, if you go, I mean, you already know, like we've been to nosebleeds inside of NFL stadiums. And I mean, I don't think this will be any higher than that. I think that it's possible. I want to get to this one right here. This is from Joe Catapano, says this is just an AI generated picture. It ain't happening. Okay, of course, like we know this is not, this is not a real picture. We understand that, but this is just an idea of what could happen. I think that it is a possibility. And the reason that I say it is because if you look at how sports are trending, where you got to spend up all this money and we're going out, we're getting these corporate sponsors, you got to find ways to generate more money, right? Because whenever you spend more, if you want to kind of stay the same, obviously you have to make more money. But this is a way you add, 10, 20,000 more seats to the stadium. I don't know how much money that is over the course of a whole year, but I would say, P, that's got to be an extra few $million, right? Yeah. I mean, just kind of ballparking it. It's got to be, because it's not just those ticket sales. It's the parking. It's the merchandise that's going to be sold. It's the food that people have to eat, all of that. So I think that it could be very, very realistic, especially now that we've got that, pilot money kind of coming in. Maybe we use a little bit of that to kind of get the ball rolling on this. But the other part of it is, if we are going to do it, it has to get done pretty quickly. It's got to get done in an off season. So we'd have to come ready. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't see us playing anywhere outside of Nealand, right? But you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know what that would look like. So I know this thing's been under construction before, but I don't know if it's been under construction during the season. Because like, for example, like a spring game, like last season, maybe even this season too, we couldn't really have any fans, whatever, because of construction. So I'm not sure. That's definitely something to consider. But I mean, at the end of the day, we know, hey, you guys do this. And that's why I think Danny White, I think he's really grown to love Vol Nation, love the Tennessee fan base, because he knows, hey, you can add 100,000 seats to that stadium, and you're going to sell it out every freaking game, no matter who we're playing. People are going to come. People love the Vols. So I think that he, has confidence in that. But, we do realize this is an AI generated picture, but I think it's a pretty cool concept. I actually like the way it looks like this. But I think closing in this side as well, I mean, that just adds another 10, 15, 20,000.
Hey, P, hold on one second, because it looks like David is live on IG. So we're about to go to that right now. We're going to go to that here in just a second. Just give me a minute, y'all. We're going to pull that up. But yeah, so that's crazy that he's going live. Maybe he's not going to do it on the other deal here.
Okay. What's he on? IG?
Yep. Yeah, he's on IG. And actually, trying to see if I can find that. You know what?
I wonder if it'll be like how G-Max was, where it's live, but he plays like a video that a video that he made, a commitment video. Because I kind of been thinking that maybe he came up to Tennessee in that last visit to shoot his some of his commitment video. But we'll see. That was a pretty cool little teaser he had too. So
yeah.
It's a big one, man. I hope it doesn't break our hearts.
I'm not too worried about that. All right, so I think that we got it now. Let's go ahead and pull it up.
That's okay. That's when I connect. But what David's done is maximize what God does. He has never taken a day for granted. He works, humble, he's a teammate. But he has been raised right to make sure that he maximizes the blessings God gave him. So just couldn't be more proud of him, his process, his teammates. They could be the first to tell you that It's a football family here. His family's here. Well represented, support, love him. I love him. With that, David Sanders.
Good afternoon, folks. Sanders, we want to thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for all the love, support. David, we're very powerful moment. David, I just want to say I'm proud of you. You're going the right way. You're going the right way. Then you never shoot the game. So, the decision you're going to make today is not only for yourself today, but for your future self, for your future family.
All right, so I'm noticing, and I hope that y'all can't hear this, but I am noticing that there is a little bit of an echo. So we're still looking for the 24/7. We're looking for the other one. So once that one comes up, we'll probably switch it over just so that we can hear what's going on. Just want to let y'all know that real quick.
It means so much that you all have come out to show your love and extend your love today on today. This has been a 3-year process with David. Our family, and not only our family, David has been so intentional on this process. It's been a lot of man-hours, a lot of talking, a lot of communication, a lot of decisions, and teaching David how to set his boundaries and be who he is and accept this blessing that God has provided for him. For us to be here today, I'm just so proud of you, son. Anything that you want to do, you can do it. We've always taught you this way, be a plan. Be in this moment. Live in this moment, right here, right now. You know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. So embrace your process. Enjoy every moment. Live life well with the people that's here with you today. We're so proud of you. We are so proud of you. We love you. We're here for this next journey. Wherever you decide to go, your family is going to be here with you. You watch your front, we have your back.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Lord for having this opportunity to be here. David, you're a remarkable young man. We got to play for many, many years ago. And you followed the club. And I must say, I'm proud of you. And each and every day that you come and strive to be the best person that you possibly can be. And you know what, Dave? One of the things that we talked about when you were a young man, one person can make a difference. One person can do it by himself. But you go out, and I must say, when I saw you in your sophomore year, because I didn't have a privilege to see you in your freshman year, I was impressed with your ability to play the game of football. But I'm more impressed with your academics. So you know what, son? You're striving. Nothing you can't do. God is with you. And we thank God for everybody being here.
Hi, everyone. First, I would like to thank God because I would do something possible without him. Second, to my brother, I'm just so proud of you. All that you've been through, all that we've been through. I love how we are together. Obviously, I don't know much about the football part. I do know who you are and what you do, but I know that you're my brother. I know that you're my supporter, my comedian, my late out cookout partner. We're just together. I don't see you as a football player. I just see you as my brother. You're my best friend. So I'm so proud of you today, and I hope to spend many more days like this.
With that, we can turn it over to 24/7 Sports.
Yeah, Bert.
Check, check.
All right, y'all. So we are about to switch this thing over. So bear with us for just a second, okay? Because the other one is going to be a lot better. We can hear it. So we're about to be switching over to that one here in just a minute.
I don't know. I'm getting nervous. I still feel confident, but I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah, there's no reason to be nervous, sir.
Maybe we're a little overconfident.
Well, we are just fine on this one. I'm not worried at all.
Signs are pointing to Tennessee for his college commitment, but he is going to make that announcement with us live on HQ.
There we go.
Let's bring in the director of scouting for 24/7 Sports. We've got Andrew Ivins checking in with us. All right, Andrew. So the crystal ball prediction, 100% in favor of Tennessee here, but just bring us up to speed here. Why Tennessee for Sanders?
Well, I think if you look at David Sanders in that tape, right, he is a very athletic offensive lineman, and I think he's kind of built to play in a spread attack. And you think about Josh Heupel, what he's been able to do in Tennessee since he arrived there. They want to spread you out. They want to throw the football. And to me, David Sanders, he looks like the ideal fit to protect the blind side of Nico Iamaleava or George McIntyre, who's committed to Tennessee, or Faison Brandon in the 2026 cycle. So Tennessee has been in on this recruitment from the jump. David Sanders is a kid that we've been tracking for well over 3 years now. I remember him in the FAU freshman All-American game. He was one of those kids where it's like, who is this? He was our first 5-star prospect in the 2025 cycle, and he has all the tools to emerge as a potential franchise corner protector on Saturdays and then potentially on Sundays as well.
Clemson, Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia. Those are just some of the many schools that are interested in having him on their roster. And as I mentioned in the lead-in here, Andrew, you can never have too many quality linemen protecting your quarterback. What is it about Sanders that makes him one of the best, in fact, at his position in this class?
Oh, you said it. He's the Gatorade player of the year there in North Carolina. What's funny, David Sanders got snaps on both sides of the ball. He had 32 quarterback pressures, 9 sacks. And I think if he just built himself as an edge rusher, we would rank him in the top 247. He is that athletic. I think when we look at him as an offensive line prospect, it's his ability to react and recover, right? He can extend the arc with his length, but his ability, once he's beat, to self-correct and then push that wall back out, it's what you want. He kind of reminds me of Charles Cross, a former 5-star prospect for us that went to Mississippi State, was selected in the first round, and is now with the Seattle Seahawks. So he's going to be a big get for someone. I think what's also notable here, since 24/7 Sports started ranking players back in 2012, there's been 47 offensive tackles, 5-star offensive tackles. Only 23 schools have signed him. Tennessee's got 2 in the past. Darnell Wright, Trey Smith, both those guys started a ton of games for the Volunteers, and both are now doing things in the NFL.
I want to go back to the fact.
All right, so that's 2 guys that we just talked about. I'm going to take that away for now, but I am still watching it just because I wanted to bring a couple things up here, right here, P. But number one, man, hold on, I'm gonna have to take this thing out so I can. But man, I've got like 2 or 3 different screens just talking all inside of my ear. But anyway, with David Sanders, y'all, we are in a really good spot. Okay, being overconfident. Excuse me, I'm not being overconfident whenever I'm saying that. I'm telling you what we've seen, right? Like because we've been following it so closely, and I know some of y'all might be a little bit anxious, but we're going to land David Sanders. Okay, like it. Price and all those guys would not be going there if we was not going to be getting him today, right? Yeah, like they know something. Trust me.
That's a great point.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, if they're in the building, that's a great point. They're he's probably all ball. I just so hopefully this thing it kicks off at 1:15. Like he promised us, and we see it, and and we get some great news, man. I just can't wait for it to be over with, and
I know.
Have them in the bag,
Yep. But so anyway, I just wanted to bring that to y'all just to let you know we're getting down to those moments. But just take a deep breath, baby. He's evolved. He's just about to make it official in just a minute.
Able to carry 300 pounds plus. And I think the other thing that separates him when you bake all that in, right? So the multi-sport, his reactionary skills, he's one of the few offensive linemen that we've come across in recent cycles that can legitimately play left tackle. And you think about being in the SEC, being in the Big Ten, everyone is coveting these twitched up pass rushers, and you need guys that can neutralize them. We think David Sanders can do that on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's just so interesting to think about swimming, track, football. I mean, it's incredible when you think about the versatility here. Andrew, before I let you go, the crystal ball 100% says Tennessee. We talked about that. if there was a chance for him to flip, who would it be for and why?
I think you got to keep an eye on Nebraska, and I'm going to defer here to Tom Loy, our director of recruiting. He's done an excellent job. He actually was at David Sanders' game there on Friday night, the first one of his 12th grade campaign. I think Matt Rule is quietly doing a really good job there in Lincoln. Last cycle they flipped 5-star quarterback Dylan Raiola from Georgia. He becomes the highest-ranked quarterback signee ever for the Cornhuskers. And guess what? When David Sanders took a surprise trip to Lincoln, it was Dylan Raiola that was showing him around town. So we'll see. The read I've always got on David Sanders, he's all about business. I think once he makes his decision, he's going to be locked in, right? I don't think there's going to be any secondary recruitment. I think he's going to show up at the school of his choice, and I think they're going to get him in a developmental program. But I do think Nebraska deserves some credit for at least getting a seat at the table, because a few years ago, the Cornhuskers wouldn't have been in the conversation for one of the nation's best.
Yeah, definitely. They are making some changes there. Andrew Ivins joining us to talk about the commitment just moments away for our guy David Sanders as he's set to make that commitment live here on HQ. Andrew, thanks for hopping on with us. So we're going to take you to the commitment where we have our guy Tom Loy standing by with 24/7 Sports, who is joined by the man of the hour. Tom, I'll hand things off to you.
Welcome, everybody, to Providence Day School in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am 24/7 Sports national analyst Tom Loy, here with 5-star offensive tackle David Sanders Jr., the number 3 overall player in the class of 2025 and number 1 offensive tackle in the entire country. David, you've been a top-ranked prospect in the country for the last couple of years. I don't think you've ever been outside the top 5. We're here in front of your friends and family. How does it feel to finally be at this moment announcing your college commitment?
It's definitely a great feeling. I've been getting recruited since very early, since freshman year, on visits every weekend. So it's been nothing but a blessing for me and my family, and, I'm excited to get it over with.
David Sanders Jr. official.com. You dropped the website this week, the personal brand, a great logo, might I add. I love the DSJ. But can you tell everybody a little bit about it, what kind of went in the background of it, and what your mission is behind it?
Yes, sir. So that was kind of like a project me and my family started over the summer. So that's definitely something I wanted to have going into college, building my brand. So I really like the logo, and, after I commit, the colors of the school I commit to will be on our website.
I love that. So we are down to 4 finalists. We got Georgia, Nebraska, Ohio State, Tennessee. Let's do a quick breakdown of the 4 finalists. We'll start with Georgia. What has the Bulldogs in play?
Definitely just their obvious, they're number 1 each and every year. They send top tackles to the league, and, they have great coaches, Coach Smart and Coach Searles. They have done a phenomenal job just recruiting me throughout high school and just letting me know that I'm a priority for their program.
You went up to Nebraska, and there was a ton of fans waiting for you when you got up there. Tell me a little bit about the relationship you have with the staff and why the Huskers are in play.
Definitely. Their coaching staff did an amazing job. They were a little late to the party, in my opinion, but Dylan and Raiola did a phenomenal job just getting me on campus and showing me a great time. So Coach Rule is a phenomenal head coach, and I think they're going to have a great future ahead of them.
Ohio State's been a top contender for a very long time. Ryan Day, Justin Fry, all those guys have done a great job with your process. What has the Buckeyes in the mix?
Ohio State, they're another school that's just known for developing great offensive tackles at the next level and sending them off to the NFL. They have a great recruiting staff as well. Their entire team they have is really good, and their recruiting class they have right now is number 1. So being a part of that would be something special.
Last but certainly not least, the Tennessee Volunteers. I know you enjoyed your time up there on multiple visits. You've been up there. Tell me a little bit about the relationship with Josh Heupel and his staff.
Tennessee has done a phenomenal job recruiting me as well throughout high school, just showing me that I'm a priority for their program. Coach Hype has a phenomenal grip on his program, and just they're going to do good things in the future as well.
All right, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we are all going to find out where David Sanders Jr. is headed. Stay locked for another 2 minutes.
Okay.
My bad. All right, yeah. I was muted there. Huh?
I was saying he's all ball, isn't he? His
Yeah,
mom
of
couldn't
course
stop
he is.
smiling. And when they said Tennessee, his mom had to. You know what I mean? She couldn't even hold it. He's all ball.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he most definitely is, man.
Mhm.
Hey, you know what? I think that so many of us have you know, we had that battered ball syndrome kind of flare up for us sometimes, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But this one, I mean, look, the staff has done a phenomenal job. I'm hearing from so many different players and their parents talking about, I mean, you guys will be so proud of this staff and what they're doing. And it's not, you know, it's not no tricks. They're just being very genuine and they're going above and beyond. So yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense. You know what I mean? I mean, along with everything else that we've said, I've been kind of looking at some of the chat here too, and some people brought up some really good points that Ohio State, I think that's who they were talking about. Ohio State and Nebraska were late to the party. Tennessee's been recruiting him since he was in the 8th grade. We've been recruiting him hard. So, and you know, this staff, since they've been up on campus, they've been, you know, he was one of the first players that they identified, and they've been very, very close with. So, yeah, I mean, it's just. We just got to get up out of this break, baby. It's almost over, man. We just got to hold on for a few more moments.
Hey, and you notice where Tennessee where the Tennessee hat is, that's right there for his right hand to be able to reach right there and grab that thing. So
yeah,
you know, I like trying to play how he's going to do it. I mean, you look at the Georgia hat; he can't reach that hat way over there.
Yeah, he got to stand up.
Yeah,
lean on the table.
He's got to reach over that. It's like a picture in front of the hat. He's got to reach over it ain't Georgia. I'll tell you that right now. They're out. It's Ohio State. It's Nebraska. It's Tennessee. I thought that Tennessee's right there, perfect for that right arm to reach to. So I feel great about it. He's going to unzip the jacket, have Tennessee on right there too. So it's going to be nice, man. You're not going to want to miss this one, guys. You're not going to miss this
one. Man, it's so funny. There's like some of these chats and stuff, man. Like Max Stone. Hold on, we examined the question. That's not what I meant to do, but Max Stone says this ain't good for my blood pressure. Of course, you already know. We locked in. T Junior's locked in. All right, here we go.
And I'll forever hold those in my heart. Next, I would like to thank my coaches for having so much faith in me to lead your program. It has been nothing short of a blessing to play for such a dedicated, passionate, and loving coach such as yourself. Next, I would like to thank my former offensive line coach, Coach Goody. Thank you for your time and wisdom in the game. You're one of the key reasons I fell in love with playing on the offensive line. Coach Gathers, thank you. Even though I was primarily an offensive player, you helped develop me into a stellar defensive end as well. You also helped me understand when to take a break when I was. I also want to give a shout out to Coach Sarepka, Coach Davis, and the plethora of staff. Next, I would like to give a shout out to my football family. From my former teammates to my current year, you guys are like my brothers. I love each and every one of you, and I hope you feel that on a daily. I will miss break and lunch days, and I will surely miss locker room and group chat talks. We are off to a great 1-0 start, so let's continue the success and have an undefeated season. I want to also give a shout out to two of my best friends on the team, Miles and Leah. Y'all my boys, man, and we have built a great relationship over these couple of years, and I'm gonna be root for y'all when I leave in December. Take your time. You good? Take your time. Take your time. And now to my family, to my grandmother, I call her Granny. I love you so much. You're pretty much like a second mom to me. Your endless love and care will never go unnoticed, and your consistent support for me. I know you don't even know much about football at all, but you just want to see me happy, and that's all that matters to you. And my grandfather, Pal. There is so much to say, I don't even know where to start. You have been a role model in my life since I remember when I was a little kid, you always used to tell me one man can make a difference. And I try to live by that each and every day. Watching you cut grass for your entire block and not asking for a penny from anyone really showed me what it means to be dedicated to the change you want to see. It's not always perfect, but you just got to control what you can control. And I love you so much. And I will continue to look at you every day. To my younger sister, Sky. You'll forever think you're my mom. And I want you to know, brother, I'm extremely proud of you. I love you so much. And you're going to be a special little girl. Just keep that smile on your face. And to my other sister, Ace the Base, I love you so much. On the entire planet, you would never hurt a soul. Thank you for always checking on brother and Nate. You are the smartest girl in the whole entire world, and I will always keep that smile on your face. Brother loves you. And to my oldest of the youngest sisters, Layla, Lay, I love you so much. This girl in the whole world. I am so proud of you and your accomplishments. Sports. It has been an amazing experience just watching you grow up. You should be proud of yourself because I am surely proud of you. And I'm proud to be your big brother. And as long as you're good, I'm good. You know who you are, and you know you are my rock. Be happy and set your boundaries. If you ever need anything, I hope you know by now you can always look to me and talk. Overall, I hope I did my job as your big brother. Your love, and most importantly, your role model. I love you so much. You know I will miss you, but you can always come to visit me. To my parents. I've been waiting for this speech my entire life. My dad is not only my dad, but he's my.
The new era of business is here. Use generative AI on AWS to optimize production and scale your business from local to global. With generative AI on AWS, businesses can push the boundaries of innovation.
When you see it, you know. It stands for something different.
A friend and a father. You put your family before yourself. Sometimes I worry about you, but you never fail to make excuses. You just make it happen, and for that I'm thankful for you. I will miss beating you at any backyard activity. and also in the video game. Good to hear you cheer from the stands at the next level, and I hope I've made you proud this far. I promise you I will continue for installing a work ethic in me and never settle for just enough. I will always strive to be the best. I say from you and what you have taught me. I love you so much, and I'll miss you a lot. And please don't let the girls. Tell my mama. Come on. You're the best mom anyone can ask for. Your love of my life. Love your family is unconditional, and you would do more for us than you even have left in your tank. It's been the backbone of our family, has definitely not went unnoticed. I see the sacrifices you have made, and to have a stress-free life. You never point a finger at anyone else to do anything for you. Best mom you can be. You have done an extremely great job. Appreciate you. Missing you is an understatement because you're my best friend, my mom. You're there when I need to talk, need to cry, or just need a good laugh. You know what I need, whether it's good or bad. You raised a great young man, and I know you're proud of me. And just seeing the joy in your face each and every day fuels me to continue to strive and be the best son and human I can. Put pressure on me for anything, and I know I will be okay. This road in my life. I love you so much, and I can't wait for the future. Take it out. Here you go. Here you go. Wipe your face. Take it to the school I will be committed to. I just want to let you know you're getting a strong, hard-working individual. For each and every day. I will be ready to lead from day one, and this has been a dream of mine. Football. So for that, I will always put my all into it. I cannot wait to get on campus and most importantly, host that national championship trophy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be committed to the University of Tennessee.
Yeah. Go Big Orange, baby. Go Big Orange. Hold on, I'm trying to get this stuff right. Hey, P, yours is muted, P. Yours is muted,
Let's go.
P. Go Balls, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. Y'all already know. Hey, listen, what a speech. What an incredible speech. I apologize for the strength. I don't know if that's on my end. If it's
hey,
yeah.
That's on their end.
Yeah. It's got to be because everything else in my internet seems to be working this time. But man, what I mean, that's a future Hall of Famer. You put up like that's what that looks and sounds like. Very impressed. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say to Ball Question, Austin Price, and everybody else. I wonder if he's going to say something right here.
Hey, super emotionally intelligent young man. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Super emotionally intelligent. Holy smokes. Talk about a guy.
Wow. We did it, Pete.
Hey, we told you guys. We saw when that hat was right there for that right hand. We knew it.
Hold on.
Volunteers, they've been on top for a very long time. Coach Hyper and that coaching staff, they've done an amazing job for me and my family. And just having that support, showing that love from the beginning of the recruitment process to now, they just deserve to be as a player.
Everybody here clearly knows person, but for Vol Nation out there, what are they getting in David Sanders Jr.?
They're getting a hard lead from day one. I'm a hard worker, and I'm just ready to go lead that team.
George McIntyre, the rest of the commit list, recruiting you hard. You now get to go from recruit to recruiter.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. I've been ready to recruit for a very long time, so we're ready to get whoever they need me to go get.
Yes, sir.
And once again, 5-star offensive tackle David Sanders Jr. is committed to Tennessee. CBS Sports HQ and 24/7 Sports.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we can get rid of that. Wow, P. That just, I mean, his whole speech, just like the whole thing. I mean, I cannot wait to get him up there because we always talk so much, P, just about players from a physical standpoint. But man, football is so mental. It's so much about passion, and just kind of understanding and just totally getting it and being bought in. That young man right there gets it. He's bought in. And oh, by the way, he's a freak athlete on the field. I could not be more happy and more proud to have landed a player of this caliber, Pete.
Yeah, man, he's the daggum poster child of this daggum team. I mean, hey, I know I say it for a lot of guys. I've said it for Nico. I've said it for a lot of guys. Hey, David Sanders, hey, this is your team now, okay? This is your team, okay? Like I said, ready to step here day one, be a leader. You look at this guy. We know I love most, okay? Obviously, he's crying about it. How much his family means to him, his sisters, his dad, his mom, which to me speaks to a guy that's almost, you hear people speak about being present in the moment. This is a kid that, he's present. He understands, hey, this is big time what I'm doing right now. This is big. He gets it. Like you said, he gets it. So he's going to give us all. But I think on top of that, man, I love to hear him talk about we're going to win championships. And he said Tennessee's going to be on top for a long time to come. Okay. Mm-hmm. He gets it. He believes it. And guess what? That's the standard that he holds this team to.
Yeah,
that's
there it is.
All these guys. So now, I mean, guys, we're seeing it. And I've been saying for a long time, nobody's listening to me, but, we're going to be on top, like you said, for a long time. Okay. Mm-hmm. And hey, I'll tell you, the top, it gets a little lonely, gets a little stale. The climb to the top is the part that we enjoyed the most, guys. And hey, guess what? We've almost reached the pinnacle. So hey, enjoy these last few rungs because we're almost there.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. These are the times that, you know, you can tell who are the real Vol fans, right? Like who's there whenever it was tough, you know, or in tough situations when everything's not going perfectly. Who stays behind their team? You know, who really believed, who really bought in. You know, that's why I'm keeping track of it, right? But this is, P, like you said, really this is the fun part, because we've been saying it. This team is about to explode. We're about to be very, very dominant. Again, going back to 2022, that roster, we had some good players. We had a lot of guys that played hard. That roster was nowhere near as good as the one that we're going to have even this season. And it's going to continue to get better and better and better. Yeah, P, this class could be, I mean, it's probably going to move up to top 6, maybe top 5, like you said. But next season, I mean, y'all seen that. Y'all seen our big board that I showed y'all. All of those kids really like Tennessee. So, I mean, we're talking top 3 all the time. Once we have that talent on a consistent basis, I mean, forget about it, dude. Like, I mean, you can't, there's nothing that you can do to stop this scheme when we're more talented than you are, because the scheme is actually to kind of win whenever you're less talented than other teams. Be more talented than them and then still running that same scheme. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be crazy. But I am extremely, extremely excited about this one. Hey, congratulations to all of y'all, Vol Nation. I think that we all kind of played a little bit of a part in this, P, right? Just, you know, kind of stay on top of guys on social media and stuff like that. You know, it might have been a very, very minuscule role, but we did play a role. And hey, we gave our all for Tennessee every single day. You need to be happy about that. Right here, man, we've got D. Taylor. Oh, just became a member for 6 months. Thank you so much for that. D says that he saw that 2017 41-0 UGA home loss in person. Go Big Orange. There you go. See, that's what we're talking about, right? Like, we're talking about, have you been here through it all? Because it's easy to be a front-running coward like most of those UGA fans are. But us real Tennessee fans, we stay down till we come back up, and then, you know, we want to stay there, right? But I'm just so excited about. It's so many good things going on up in Knoxville, man. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait, man. We're just a few more weeks. Just like a couple more weeks, P, away from kickoff.
Is it next week? No, 2 weeks. Yeah,
it's 2 more weeks. Yeah, it's 2 more weeks. It's gonna be kickoff. We'll be doing this thing with y'all live. I think we'll probably be close to. Nah, it won't be post game just yet, but I mean, we'll probably be up big on UT chat. I mean, guys, listen, you got to be excited, baby. You got to be very, very excited. But hey, listen, thank y'all so much for tuning in, for sticking all the way to the end. But that's gonna be it for this one. We'll have David Sanders' official film breakdown that'll be out here within, I'd say, like the next 20 or 30 minutes or so. Okay, so we hope that y'all will find that, tune into it, and we'll tell you what we think about him from a little bit more of an X's and O's perspective. But again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for all of the support. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We're going to see y'all in just a minute. Thanks. Peace.